Hello, everybody. Welcome to Geek Impulse. I'm your host, Joshua Sexton, here with a amazingly talented director, writer, and actor, Nicolaj, to talk about his new film. So, without, get into it and not take away from his time too much, let's just jump right into it. And, Nicolaj, why don't you tell people, who you are, what you've done, how are you doing today, by the way? Because I am super excited to talk to you.
Yeah, and nice to meet you, Joshua. I'm fine. Actually, I have the COVID-19 right now, but I have no symptoms at all. But I'm home and I'm grounded in at the apartment. But that's okay because I can work on this Oscar race. And I'm an actor. And I've been acting for like 25, 30 years and done a lot of TV shows and a lot of movies. And now I'm starting directing a little bit. And I've done this little short movie called, in English, the Stenofonen, but Stenofonen. And it's a very personal story because it's about a thing that happened for my father when he was 12 years old. And so it's based on a true story. And
I wanted to kind of get into that more, right? Because you also had your family on this film. So how was it working with your family on the film, and what were their thoughts with, you coming to them and saying, hey, let's work together on this film because it's so personal to us? What was their reactions to that?
Yeah, that's a really good question, actually, because my own son is playing my father when he was 12 years old. So I remember when I asked him, I said, well, I'm asking you if you want to play the main character in this film. And of course, you can say no and don't think about that. If you don't want to do it, you can say no. But I was so lucky that he said yes. And the important thing for me to have him playing that character is that he had the same. I feel that he had the same vulnerability that I was looking for, and then he's actually looked a lot as my father when my father was 12 years old. So and then I thought, because this is the story I have my whole childhood, I've heard from my father that he had a really tough relationships to his father because he wanted him to see him more than he did, and he was a very, very tough father. And I got the impression that my father never got revealed in a way that I would like him to have a little more fame that he got in his life. And then I heard about this Stenofonen, that he actually, out of 2,000 stones, have found a C minor scale and then played music because he wasn't allowed to get his violin with him on a camp. And I thought that it was such a unique story that out of 2,000 stone, you found a C minor scale, C major scale. And that together with the combination of his relationships, his bad relationship to his father, I wanted to make a universal story about, an important stories about that, how important it is to make each other better instead of kicking each other down and not make them grow. And I
can imagine, right? There's so many times when, as parents, I'm a parent, you are as well, we don't necessarily realize the impact we have with our words. And so, we need to choose them wisely in a way. I have a daughter, and she's softened me up, even though she's still not 1 year old yet. But just the way I talk to her is a lot more soft, right?
Yeah.
Because like you're saying is we don't know what we might say might impact our children later on in life, right? And I imagine that the way your grandfather talked to your father really stuck with them for all his life, right?
Exactly, and that I think that's a problem, because the most important thing is that actually you have to set yourself free in a way. You have to I mean, in the end of this movie, and I don't know if I'm spoiling anything, but in the end of this movie, he actually set himself free, and he is happy about playing. And the important thing, and this the thing I want to tell the audience is that, well, don't look and search for your for any other people's respect I mean, make it important what you feel inside yourself about yourself, and keep being a child that play the stone, and then you feel the freedom and your musicality. And that's an important story, I think, because a lot of people spoil their whole life thinking about what is my father and my mother thinking about. I want to show them that I can do things and stuff, and I want to show. Instead of just think, well, I am what I am, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I agree with you. Right, we lose that sense of wonder and imagination and everything, and we tend to let those things steal, like a thief, steal our life and what we could really become. And I think this story that you created, even though it's personal, you really brought to light in highlighting those things in this film. And that's where it brings me to my question about how is it that because it's so personal, right? How did you really figure out what scene did work or didn't work? I imagine there's a lot of scenes you probably cut out, because it is 22 minutes long. It's a short film. So how did you determine what you wanted in there, what you didn't want in there?
Well, actually, first of all, I would say that it's actually very, very difficult to tell stories of course, it's difficult to tell long stories, but it's really difficult to tell short stories, actually, because you have to be very precise. And then when I was writing the script, I was thinking that it was more important for me to show it on the screen instead of talking a lot of. And so all the lines were really, I cut a lot of lines off out of the script. And there's not a lot of long lines. It's very short lines, and it's just actually just helping the atmosphere and the thing that's going on in the scenes on the screen. And I remember one time my own son, because I really love to work with him, and we had such a wonderful, actually professional working relationship. It's a really big gift that you can have like a family relationship and with all that kind of love, and then you can try to have a professional relationship to your own son. And once we were doing a scene at the beach, and I wrote a long line he should say about some stuff, and he said, "Are you really sure, Father, that I have to say this? Because this is crap. It's shit.
Wow.
I can try." But and then he tried, and I can see, well, I understand what you mean. And I asked him and say, what else? What can we do here? And he said, well, can I just stand up and walk away instead of saying anything? And then I found out that in this movie, it was important for me to have less word and more music and more atmosphere and feelings in the pictures.
Yeah.
So so it become very easy actually to choose between what I would like to have and what I had to cut out. Yeah.
So with that being said, then if you could share, like, what was it, you kind of touched on something a little bit, what was it that you really learned from making this film that maybe you weren't expecting, but came out that you're like, wow, it's a great learning experience?
What I really learned, I must say that you are having some very good questions, actually. I like that. Well, I learned one very important thing. It became very easy for me to take decisions when I always look into my heart. I know it sounds really big and romantic and stuff like that, but if you have to take a decision about a location, and you need a harbor, and we have, like, I don't know, 1,000 harbors in Denmark. Well, I always choose which harbor did my father like, and I choose a harbor where I have a relationship in some ways, and then choose a location that is close to my heart, and that works really well. And also, when there's a scene where some music is coming out of the radio, the Stone music, and then the head of the sound department said, "Why shouldn't we play the original Stone music your own father is playing when he was 12 years old and was in the radio?" And we choose that. So my father is actually in the movie in a way. He is, at least his own music is in the radio. And all these decisions, because it is a long line of decisions. The whole life is a long line of
Yes.
of taking choices. But all these decisions, it was very easy for me to take them if I was looking into what is my heart telling me, if you understand. And I have such a lot of creative energy when I did this movie, because I was in love with the project, and I was in love with the theme. I wanted to make a tribute to my father, because he should have this tribute. He should have this.
Yes. No, that's beautiful, right? You it's probably one of the main reasons why, and we're going to get into it, that it was shortlisted for a 2022 Academy Award, right? Is because everybody at the Academy, anybody who watches us, can tell what you just said, how you conveyed that, is that it's from your heart. The decisions you're making, the places, locations, all that stuff, even listening to your son and anybody else's feedback during that, shows that you went into this project with your heart and put all of it in there. And I think it shows. And so what was, your reaction, family's reaction, everything for the announcement that it was being shortlisted for a 2022 Academy Award?
Well, it was actually, it was kind of crazy, because I was out drinking some wine with a friend, and then my girlfriend said, "Well, I can come by," and I have actually forgot that there was it was 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. Our time, that I have forgot that they were telling which film was shortlisted. And then suddenly I got a phone call, and my co-producer said, "Well, we're shortlisted." And then actually my girlfriend, she took up a bottle of champagne she brought in case. Wow. So I was happy, and I was a lot on the phone that night, and I've been on the phone ever since, because it's quite a lot of job to because I would like to go the whole way. At least I would like to get to Los Angeles and get a nomination. That would be so nice. And again, it would be nice if I could do it, because I think that the personal trip I'm on is very important for me.
Got it. So, again, I want to be respectful of your time. I know you don't have a lot of time to do things here with this interview, but a couple more things I want to ask you. One is kind of a two-part question. It just really depends on your answer. So what is a question, you've had a long career, right? You've won awards, you've been nominated a lot over the years. What is a question that you wish you've been asked, but have you never been asked before? And then answer that question.
Oh my God. Well, I have been asked. There's a lot of questions I've been answered through my career and my life, but I have a thing that I think is very important to tell the whole world, and I think it is that the question should be, what would I like to know when I was a kid that I know now? What would be nice to know? And I think it would be nice to me to know that it's very important that you are not afraid and you have the courage to show all your what do you call it, flaws?
Yes.
Yes. Never be afraid of making mistakes. Never be afraid of taking the life as a rehearsal, that you have to try things and be better. And it's so important, because if you want to live a life as a perfect guy from the start to the end, forget about it. And in Japan they have this, when you have these plates and it breaks, then you glue it with gold.
Yes.
And it's actually become worth more after. And that's the same with the human being. That if you have cracks and you have all these you have all these problems during your life, and you have solved them, and then then it's only adding you to a better human being, instead of trying to be perfect. And that's an important lesson. And did it make sense?
Yeah, it did make sense. You're basically saying, like, look, you don't need to be perfect, but through your journey of life, you're going to be the perfect you, as long as you accept your flaws and the challenges you have, and you try to overcome them and just be who you are. Exactly. You'll perfect your own self over time. And that's kind of what I was getting from what you said. I think you said it beautifully. So
okay, great. Okay, great. Yeah. That's nice. Thank you for translating my.
No, it was great English. Don't worry, everything was great. I just rephrasing it. So beautiful. Yeah. Thank you for that. Now, before we go, what are you into next? I know you've got like a series. You're also doing a voiceover work. So what is it you're doing? Can you talk about those real quick, or not? It's fine. And then where can people find you, right? Where can people follow you? Do you have social media that, people that might be watching this can look for you?
Yeah. For 3 days ago, I got hacked. My social media got hacked. I had a whole bunch of followers, and they're gone now. So I started all over again. But you can follow me on Nicolaj Kopernikus and then _official. Nicolaj Kopernikus _official. I hope that I will get my old account back, but I'm working on it. But I mean, it's probably easier to chat with Obama instead of chatting with Facebook. It's really, really a difficult way in. But that's my social media. I also have a Facebook thing, but I'm gonna work on different projects. I am right now into a TV show where I am the director, and it's a sci-fi thing. It's kind of a quite nice script, actually. It's about two kids, 10 and 14 years old, and they lose their parents in the first episode, and they found out that there's something wrong, and there is more between heaven and earth. And the most important thing is that they found out that they actually they found each other, instead of searching in your history and go back. You have to look and be in the now and find out that actually you are surrounded by love. That's a quite nice story. And then I'm acting in a Netflix TV show called Chosen. It's a young, also sci-fi thing. It's having the release date at the end of this month, actually, I think.
Okay.
I hope it's Netflix all over the world, but at least it's it's Netflix. It's called Chosen.
Chosen. Okay. Awesome.
And
yeah, I'll definitely look out for that.
Then there's a whole bunch. You know, as a freelance actor, you have a whole bunch of balls in the air, and you're juggling and finding out. And there's a lot of very nice things going on, and I'm so happy about it. And right now I'm working quite hard on this Stenofonen movie, so we can get it to be nominated.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Nicolaj. I really appreciate it. Thank you for being here and doing this interview with me today. And, you know, I just wish you a continued massive success in everything that you're doing. And again, really appreciate you for being here.
Okay, thank you very much, and have a really nice time. And thank you.
Thank you.